Hello and welcome from me and George to week 3 and what is day 3 of my week at the minute. It's my second upper body day. All of my upper body days at the minute are starting with ab work, mainly because if I leave it until last I won't do it, or I will but I won't put much effort in. The reason I'm using a weighted plank at the minute for my second upper body day is because I got to 2 minutes of doing like 3 sets of 2 minutes of doing regular planks, and it just gets to the stage where it's taking a little bit too long. And yeah, I didn't want to be adding any more time than that, so we're working with 10 kilos at the minute, and every time I hit 3 sets of a minute, add a little bit more weight for the next week, and we'll see where we end up with this. I am, as of now, as of the end of this session, deloading. I'm just going to take 4 days off, and I don't always take time off when it comes to deloading. Sometimes it's just easier sessions, but because I've only got 4 days, I want to try and get back to it on Monday morning. I feel like it's better to just take the time off. So we'll be back to it on Monday morning now. But nothing special about any ab exercises, in my opinion. These planks just one that I quite like. So first upper body exercise of the day is a lateral raise. One thing that is worth pointing out on these is that I usually recommend quite a bit of a forward lean, and then almost like I'm lifting my arms out in front of my body rather than to the side, just because I've felt in the past that I've got more side delt, and I still do like that variation. But at the minute I'm trying to stay a bit more upright because this right shoulder has been clicking quite a lot. And it clicks quite a lot when I lean forward. No pain or anything, but it gets in my head. Whereas when I stay upright like this and go straight out to my side, no clicking, so I'm able to concentrate a little bit better. Second exercise is a row variation called a Flexion Row, which is something that was coined, I believe, by Mike Israetel of Renaissance Periodization. So all I'm letting happen here is I'm letting my upper back round quite a lot to make sure that I'm stretching out everything across that upper back. And then as I pull, I'm trying to start the movement by drawing my shoulder blades together and really arching my back up. You find that as well as sort of lats and rear delts and traps and stuff like that, you find sort of lower trap burns quite a lot here compared to a typical dumbbell row, which obviously, because I can't deadlift or anything like that at the minute, or even heavy rows, that's sort of serving as a replacement to make sure that my sort of mid back doesn't disappear between now and the gym's opening. But yeah, these hurt a lot more than you think they're going to. Next was bench dips. So I started off doing like traditional dips where I was using the back of the chairs and dipping from there, but the creaking and cracking of the chairs, not my joints, it was just getting a bit much. I wasn't feeling very comfortable with it. So we're going for traditional PE exercise, bench dips. I get a lot of tricep here. I'm really focusing on keeping my elbows pointing back as I do the reps, and then trying to really lock out at the top position. And I get a lot of tricep. It really does burn a lot more than you'd think it would. The one thing is, this is one of the exercises that has shown me that it's time for a deload, because I was getting quite a lot of clicking and cracking in my elbows, and it just all felt a bit just not as smooth as I'd like it to. But this is definitely an exercise that will stick in until the gyms reopen. I'll just stick some weight on my lap when I feel like I need to. So pull-ups, shorts rolled up. Apologies for the nappy looking shorts. So pull-ups at the minute I'm doing one weighted session and one without. And definitely when the gyms reopen, the one without is going to go and be replaced by a pull down, because I don't feel like I'm quite strong enough to do these with the sort of control that I'd like to do. But I am getting stronger on them, but it's sort of a rep each week. And also being like super picky. When I look at my lats from the back, like at the top position, I quite like the way my upper back looks. I think that's coming along. But I don't feel like I'm getting down towards those lower lats, and I've always found like a neutral grip pull down is much better for targeting that part of my back personally, so that's what I'll be moving to. But got to work with what we got, and we're getting stronger, so can't have too many complaints. And this is my last exercise of the day, which is a dumbbell fly, which I hate. In fact, I did a post before talking about the most overrated exercises in my opinion, and this is pretty much top of the list, because there's zero tension up towards that top position, but I don't have cables, I don't have resistance bands or anything like that, so I'm just making do with what we've got, being very careful to make sure that sort of biceps and stuff like that don't take over, which it can happen especially for me because of when I injured my shoulder. I still get a little bit nervous in that area, especially with dumbbells, because the stretch at the bottom is really intense, even if there's no real tension at the top. So yeah, I'm going to be taking a deload after this session. So for the rest of the week, I'm just going to be off, do a little bit of extra walking and stuff like that, just to make sure my activity doesn't drop too much. And then I'll get back on Monday. In next week's video, I'll show you how I sort of ease myself into a new training block. Not that anything's going to be changing because I haven't got any options, but yeah, I'll just show you how we start to ease back into a new training block rather than just going back to 100%. So that is it for today. I'm going to wrap this up so that you don't have to stare at my nipples for too long, and I shall speak to you next week.